Hi everyone, my name's Steph. I work at the Hoboken Public Library as the local history librarian slash archivist. My job is preserving the history collection, making it available to all of you so you can check it out. But I also am in charge of ordering the comics and graphic novels. So, as a spare time hobby of mine, I enjoy drawing. And I've been working on these drawing workshops for you all. So thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of the Hoboken Public Library Comics Drawing Workshop. Obviously, right now you're all stuck at home and the library building's temporarily closed, but we're offering all sorts of live events and pre-recorded programs online. You can watch these by visiting HPL at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. We have some book clubs on Discord as well. So please feel free to check those out as well. You can find all of our programs listed on our website and on our social media pages. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit more about facial features and how to vary them up. A lot of the time when you're doing art and you're starting out, you really only learn how to draw one face, and obviously that makes it harder to tell your characters apart. So we're going to get into that. You've probably seen some comics out there where the artist really can only draw one face. You can see it in Sailor Moon to an extent. You can absolutely see it in Sword Art Online as well. Other series where you'll notice that there's really one distinct face, and other characters really, don't have different faces, so it's hard to tell them apart. This is referred to as same face or same face syndrome. So I'm going to help you learn to avoid that a little bit today. So for starters, we'll do what I did last time. We'll just kind of draw the shape of a head here. Now, head shape is one of the ways you can differentiate. So I'm going to teach you a few head shapes. So here is a sort of an oval head shape, just a basic sort of oval you can do. This is kind of the basic standard face, and then you put your cross lines in, just to show you, to show you where the ears and the eyes and the nose and the mouth will all place on the face. Now, if you want to make your character look a little younger or more childish, you can go for a more rounded face. So I'll do that here. You can draw a head that's a little more circular. That makes a person look younger. Sometimes, this is just kind of a rounded face, especially if you want to make someone look younger, bigger features, like bigger eyes, etc., things like that. If you want to make someone look a little more grizzled, you can give them kind of a square jaw. So to do that, I kind of start with my oval, but I make the bottom wider. And then once I draw my cross lines in like this, I kind of put some emphasis on the jaw and make it a little more square shaped. That's how you get that kind of lantern jaw look that a lot of older superhero comics like to use. It makes the person look stronger. You've got, the thing is with face shapes, you have as many possibilities as you can draw. These are just three basic ones here, but you can clearly extend this into other designs. Like just say your character isn't human, and you want to make them look not quite human. I believe I mentioned in the tutorial last time, I draw a lot of my friends' Dungeons & Dragons characters for them, and quite a few of them will make elf characters with pointy ears. So just say, if you want to give someone more angular features, the oval shape is good. Just kind of extend it to make it very thin. And then you can draw in those other angular looking features, like the cheekbones and whatnot. And again, I'll just kind of put some elf ears on this for now. Just to kind of give you the idea of what that kind of character might look like. Very long, angular, slinky, etc. Once you have your face shapes, this is this can kind of tell you a little more about the character that you're developing here or drawing here. In real life, you can't really tell anything about a person from the shape of their face other than maybe their age. Like, obviously, somebody who has more wrinkles and has a saggier face, they're going to be older. Someone who has a more rounded face might be younger. But again, that's really subjective. In comics, though, that's a really good way to kind of give people some subtle hints about your characters. You'll notice a lot of villains have more angular faces with very, with very, like, their facial features will be designs to make them look a bit more like they're schemer types or whatever, at least if they're obvious villains. Whereas characters you want to portray as innocent, they'll have like big eyes and, look very cutesy. So a good subversion would be to make your big-eyed cutesy character a villain. That's which has become a bit of a trend recently. I've seen it in a few places. So speaking of your big-eyed cutesy character, let's take a look at this one here. So, let me just redefine that in there. So, when you're drawing bigger eyes, it's important to place them closer together. The bigger the eyes are, the closer together they should be, closer to center they should be. If you draw two big eyes and you spread them really wide on the face, it's going to look very off model and really unnatural looking. So big eyes, you want to put them to the center. So I'm going to draw in my pupils now. So here's this character now has very large, innocent looking eyes. So I'm just going to kind of finish them around and put my eyelids and eyebrows over there. So this is a character who looks much more innocent, as you can see here. Nose shape is actually very important as well. A lot of the time you'll see people give a lot of their characters the same nose. And the fact is you can do a lot with the nose. There's obviously a lot of different ways. Obviously you want to make sure you don't fall into racial and ethnic stereotypes when drawing the nose. There are numerous tutorials online that can help you avoid any traps like that to make sure that you're not drawing a character who looks like a caricature. But for now we're going to just focus on making this character look like a child. So a good way to get a more childlike character is to make the nose kind of rounded. You can do any size on that, but I tend to draw the nose more rounded when I want a character to look like a little kid. I always like to put blush lines in on people's faces just to kind of indicate that they've got, a healthy flush. Obviously not everyone does that. You don't have to. If it doesn't work for your style, that is perfectly fine. I just enjoy doing it because I think it looks cute. And then I'll just kind of draw the neck in so you can kind of see that this is a person here. I'll draw a little kind of concerned looking little mouth there just to kind of get the idea that this person kind of doesn't quite know what's going on. And I'll sketch in some hair. I'll probably do a whole video on just how I do hair later because I really like to draw hair. So this is a character here of indeterminate gender who looks younger. This could be really anyone. So this could be this is the important thing here is that this is a much younger looking character. If I go to this more angular one on this side, let me just sketch my ears in there. I can vary up the eyes. So one of the things I like to do to make a character look a little different is I'll change the size of the pupils and the shape of the eyes. If I want them to look a little more, sly or schemy, I'll make the eyes slightly tilted, like on an angle, so that they're a bit, just to kind of give them a bit of there. Now see, gonna give them a bit more interesting. Here I've drawn the eyes. Let me just redo these eyelids here. I've drawn the eyes in very. The pupils are very small. That's intentional. That kind of gives you a more wild-eyed look for a character. It's a fun way to do characters who are a bit more hot-blooded, a bit more out there, or might be a bit more mischievous. I tend to use it that way. So the eyelids in this case, I actually have them coming right from the eye, like touching right on it to kind of give you that sense of this character is maybe up to something. Shape of the eyebrows is very important as well for intent. If you want a character that always looks a little glum, doing the eyebrows like this actually does make them look a little more sad. So, but here we got this person's eyebrows are coming down from the top here. They're very forceful looking. And they're thicker as well. Vary the thickness of your eyebrows as well, because not everybody's eyebrows are going to look the same. It's definitely an important step to take. We're going to give this person a pointier nose here. And I'm going to give them a little smirk, just to kind of give you the idea that maybe they're up to no good. But in a mischievous sort of way, because I didn't really go for a more like stereotypical evil look here. I just kind of do someone who might be a little bit up to no good. So just kind of, I'll do kind of similar hair on this one to show you that you can just adjust the facial features and you'll have a very different looking character. So I'm just going to kind of draw the same hair on these to kind of give you the idea. So right here you can see pretty much the same hair, but different eyes make them look like very different characters. I'll do one more over here. I'll work on this more lantern-jawed kind of person. Kind of get the ears in. Now with these, sometimes I could probably do an entire lesson just on drawing eyes. I think that's something I can work on definitely in the future here. Again, I'm doing a different pupil shape. I'm going to doing rounder pupils for this one. So I want this person to look a little more serious. Do more like serious looking, kind of thicker eyebrows on this one. Again, I'm going to vary the shape of the nose a little. Making this kind of a bigger nose. When I want my characters to look a little more serious or older, I usually draw the blush marks smaller. That kind of helps with that. I'll put this very seriously. If you want someone to have a cleft chin, just draw a line like this at the bottom. Think of there was a famous old Hollywood actor named Cary Grant. He had a very notably cleft chin. He's a great reference. If you look Cary Grant up and look at his chin, he's really good to practice from. Again, I'll do the same hair, just to kind of show the change here. And these could all be variations of the same character. But as you can see, they're all very different because I changed the face. You want the face is really very key to defining your characters as separate from each other. I could get more into silhouette at a later point where you want to have the characters look physically different by changing their body types and hair as well. That's actually a very good way to do your character design as well. I'll actually elaborate on that in a later video. Now, again, I was talking about drawing, more fantasy type characters here. So, these are, since I draw people's, D&D characters, as I mentioned, if you want your characters to look a little more, fantasy-like, a cool thing to do is to give them less humanoid features in the face. So I'm drawing this sort of like elf type character, but I'm going to give them more cat-like eyes. Because I want to make them look not quite human. It kind of adds a little bit of an air of mystery to them. I kind of do like a sort of rounded but sort of pointy nose on that one. Sometimes facial markings as well are good. Like, for example, let's just give this character like a scar over their eye. That kind of shows that they've been through some... I just draw those like like this, just kind of a sickle sort of shape through the eye without actually touching the actual inside of the eye there. Give them a little more of a serious look. The ears kind of can go like this, just kind of filling them in to make sure that it's clear that these are ears. And then again, I'll do the same hairstyle that I did on the others, just to kind of get the idea. But this character might not be quite human. Just some little adjustments to the face can make them look a little less like a human character. So that's basically what I wanted to cover here. I'm going to add a photo of this image to this video so you can take a look at it. Right after this, I'm just going to scan this, so just hang on one moment. Okay, so now that you've seen the final image, you can see the differences in the facial features. So you can clearly tell that I've made changes just based on little things in the face, and that's given these characters a lot more personality and differentiated them from each other, even though they all clearly have the same hairstyle. Just those little differences can make a big, big change in how your characters are perceived. So it's highly recommended to work on that, try different techniques with the face, definitely adjust things and look at as many tutorials as you can. I highly recommend using references. References are really helpful. There is no shame in using references. Even the best artists use references, so I absolutely cannot recommend it more. So I'll be working on some more drawings for you in the future to help with other things. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us today here. I hope you enjoyed spending time with us. Please like, share, and comment on this video. We'll respond to you as soon as possible. I'm really looking for more recommendations on things that you would like me to see me do in these tutorials, things that you'd like me to cover. So please let me know what you're looking for or what you need help with, and I'd be happy to touch on them. Just don't ask me to do perspective. I'm not good at that. So anyway, remember, the doors of the library are still closed, but all our online resources are available at hobokenlibrary.org, as well as our social media pages. Again, as mentioned earlier, we do have plenty of programming up there for you to check out. So I highly recommend going back, watching some of the videos. There's some really awesome programming there, so please take a look. And lastly, we are having a book club on June 4th regarding the graphic novel series Runaways. It's a Marvel series that subverts a lot of superhero tropes. If you're interested in joining us for that, there is information in the library calendar system. It'll be June 4th at 3:30 p.m. We're going to be talking the first 6 issues of the comic, so we're not going to get too in-depth with it at first. But if you want to keep going with it, we can obviously keep talking about more. So if you would like to join us for that, please check out the library calendar, Thursday, June 4th at 3:30. It'll be on Discord, so just let us know if you're interested in doing this. Thank you all. Have a great day and stay safe.